This is a short video to introduce you to your Texas Instruments BA2 Plus financial calculator. If you've recently purchased a TI-BAII 2 Plus, you probably notice it looks a lot different than this. The Texas Instruments that I'm holding is probably about 10 years old, and they've redesigned the look or design of it a little bit since that time. However, all the functions are exactly the same, the procedures are exactly the same, so you should be able to follow along on this just as easily as on your new calculator. Go ahead and turn the calculator on. First thing I want to introduce is what we call the 5-key time value of money approach. If you look across the row of your financial calculator, you'll see 5 buttons. The N stands for number of periods. I/Y is our interest rate, our rate of return, sometimes called discount rate. Next we have a PV, our present value button. PMT, our payment, which we'll use when dealing with annuities. And lastly we have an FV, our future value button. A lot of the calculations we do in class will involve the 5-key approach using these 5 keys. You'll put in values for 4 of the 5 that you know from the problem and solve for the 5th. When solving, you'll also use the CPT or compute button to solve for the unknown function that you're trying to find. In addition to the 5-key approach, we'll also use a cash flow worksheet. You can see the CF cash flow button here. In addition, we have an NPV for net present value, an IRR for internal rate of return. The NPV is used to solve for the present value of an uneven cash flow stream, and the internal rate of return is used to solve for the rate of return on an uneven cash flow stream. These two functions will be used heavily in Chapter 9 on capital budgeting. In addition, NPV will be used in our stock valuation, Chapter 7. Now, in addition to showing you the buttons, I want to help you get your financial calculator set up to start Chapter 5. When you purchase a new financial calculator, the settings are a little bit different than what we're going to start with. The first thing is, you might notice that you see 2 decimal places. The financial calculators are typically used for dollars and cents calculations, so the default setting is 2 decimal places. However, you may want to display more than 2 decimal places. Maybe you're calculating percentages, maybe you're doing something in a math class or statistics class where you need more than 2 decimal places. In order to show more than 2 decimal places, you need to change the format of your calculator. The format button is right here. It's a shift function, so we have to do second, format, and now on your screen it will say decimals equals 2. The maximum that you can display on the Texas Instruments is 8. So if we want to set that to the maximum, we press 8, enter, and now it's set to 8 decimals. You do not need to set your calculator to 8 decimals. There isn't anything that we're going to need in this class that will extend beyond 4 decimal places. However, if you want to, you can change it to 8, to 4, to 2, whatever setting you're comfortable with. If you need more precision than it displays, then just remember you can display up to 8 decimal places by changing the format. The second thing that we want to look at is the periods per year. When you purchase a brand new financial calculator, the default setting is 12 periods per year. And this is because a lot of times calculators are used to calculate things like mortgage payments and car payments. And we'll go through examples of each of those in class. However, a lot of times we're going to start with annual periods, 1 period per year. Other times we might do problems with weekly or semi-annual or quarterly compounding periods. So we need to be able to change our periods per year from problem to problem. We're going to initially start with 1 period per year, annual compounding. So to change that, do second, P/Y. When you press that, you'll see what your calculator is currently set for, 12 periods per year. We want to change that to 1 So press 1. Now your screen will say P/Y equals 1. Press enter, and now you can see that's been changed. Go ahead and press clear cancel, and if you want to double check, you can do shift P/Y and it should show up as 1 period per year. Once you change periods per year, it will stay at that setting until you change it. So if you're working through a problem on a quiz or exam or homework and you change your periods per year, remember to change it back before moving on to the next problem. The last thing that we're going to play around with is the begin-end setting for payments. When you're dealing with annuities, payments can come either at the beginning of each period under an annuity due, or more commonly at the end of each period, an ordinary annuity. When you're dealing with ordinary annuities, you want your calculator set for end. When you're dealing with annuity dues, you want your calculator set for begin. The calculator default setting is at end. You can tell it's at end because you don't see any notification on the screen. If you want to change it to begin, do second BGN, and you can see it says in there because what we've done is not change it yet. We've just entered the mode to toggle back and forth between beginning of period payments and end of period payments. To toggle to the alternative setting, press second set, and you can see it switches to begin. Also note up in the corner of your screen you'll see BGN for begin. That tells you that your calculator is set for beginning of period payments. I'm going to toggle that back to end and press enter, and that is what we want our calculator set for. So now your calculator is all set up for time value of money calculations.